y'all. Welcome to First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsey Jackson.
And I am Aaron Jackson.
And if you can tell, I'm super excited because this is our last episode of season 5.
Yes.
We have made it to the finale.
Yeah, episode 22.
22,
baby.
We do 22 episodes every season, and then we take a little break. And every season, I say this, usually on our last episode, but I'm so grateful that we made it to the end of the season. Because if y'all knew, I feel like I got splashed together. Like, if you knew, I say it at the end of every season, if you knew how much we work, how hard we work to create this wonderful, vulnerable, loving space to share with you all, you'd be like, round of applause.
Round of applause,
because just coming together and having this time, even tonight.
Yeah.
Should we talk about tonight? Just putting the kids to bed, just like.
Well, this is the first season with 3 children.
Yeah.
We've done podcasts. We did a season when you was pregnant twice. I think there's 2 pregnant seasons, but
yes.
This is with 3 children.
With 3 children, one being a newborn during this, and we've done a season when Shine was a newborn, but this 3 kids, like, we entered into a whole nother realm, and to be consistent with our goals, with our values. We just learned about some values today. With our values is really special, and I'm really grateful.
I also have one more thing to say, because it happened during the last episode, but we are at 1K subscribers on YouTube.
1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you all for sharing, coming back, commenting, all the things. Like, if anybody knows, like, milestones, it means something when you are able to, like, you know, not place a number, but just say, like, the growth of it all. And so for YouTube, for that specific platform, reaching 1,000 subscribers, meaning these people are saying, we want to hear from you.
You people.
You're right. You're saying you want to hear from us. Thank you.
Yeah. And a special shout out goes to the social media manager over here, who's taken us. When we started this season, I think we had about 30 subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of this season alone. And she has grown our podcast on YouTube exponentially.
Exponentially?
So you're an amazing person.
Thank you.
We're at 8,000 on Instagram. I don't even know how many we have on TikTok. So keep telling your friends about us. We are going to still give you content after the season is over. We're not going to leave you high and dry. I know, like, right now, basketball just ended. Football hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
So right now, I think it's like baseball and hockey, and I think hockey is about to be over. I think, some soccer is going on.
I mean, the Olympics is about to happen. So.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, we're not going to leave you high and dry. Like this, because truthfully, this is when I kind of stopped listening to podcasts.
Really?
It's like summertime and stuff like that. But that's also, most of the stuff I listen to are sports.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, relationships are always. Excuse me. And so there's always going to be a little bit of content that we could give you. We'll always give you a little bit of encouragement or advice that we have done or stuff like that, or we've been looking up, like, different methods. Like last week when we talked about the apology
language. Yeah,
that was brand new to me. I never heard of it before, and so
we're learning too.
Yeah, we're learning too, and we want to give you all the information. So stay tuned. We'll probably take a little break after this episode, but we'll be right back, probably right after 4th of July.
Yeah,
truthfully.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's get to it, man.
Let's get into it. Okay. Our very last cliché, season 5, clichés and realness. I don't know, I just came up with that one. It is going to be love comes when you least expect it. I've heard this one before. In fact, people told me this pretty much growing up because they were like, you know what? You need to let it's not about Aaron, because mind you, we've been together forever.
Yep.
But it's not about Aaron. It's love is gonna come. And this was what was told to me when we broke up, when we had our breakup. And I went to New York for school and you stayed in LA. Love comes when you least expect it. All those things. So this is our cliche. What do you
got? Do you have anything?
I do.
Okay, you go first, because I might piggyback off of yours.
Really?
I got a couple of things, but I want to see where you go with it first.
Okay, your perspective is never mine. So this is gonna be interesting. So when I think of this cliche, I actually hold true to it. I think it has some value in it, especially as a woman, and especially for me. I think that love comes when you least expect it. Story time. I have always been the type to be like ultra focused and determined on things that I want to accomplish. And so for me, in high school, once I decided I wanted to be a dancer, I was like, okay, it's go time. I am going to be a dancer. At that same time, I was in love. Like I think we said I love you to each other pretty early on in our relationship. So 15, 16, by 16, I was in love. I was, you know what I mean? Like, we're in love. But I knew, or I was trained, or I was, taught to believe that I should not do wifely duties until I'm a wife, right? We've heard that before. And so when I think about how I was raised to really go about my focuses of schooling, or my focuses of my career, or my passion, or my gifts, whatever it was not to be focused on a man. It was not to be focused on, my boyfriend, whatever that is. And so I was not expecting Aaron to propose when he did propose. So that's what I think about when I think love comes when you least expect it. Not the fact that I wasn't already in love, because I was, but just like the expectation of being married and like getting married and having an engagement. I had expected him to propose at least 2 times before he actually did. And by the time he proposed, our proposal story was pretty much me, again, focused on something else. I wasn't checking for him. I wasn't looking for you. I was actually like, okay, well, I have to get up early in the morning and I got to do this and I got to do that. And that was when you actually proposed. So that was kind of like my love comes when you least expect it moment.
Okay. I kind of get what you're saying.
You get it?
Part of me likes this one and part of me doesn't like it. The part that doesn't like it is the part that says, okay, if you're looking for something, you need to be intentional. So that is like, whatever you do and whatever you do, be intentional with it. And therefore, it's almost like you can manifest it, you can plan it out. You won't be in a situation that you didn't think about before. All those things. When we had Emily McKnight in season 4, season 3, and she was talking about like dressing up to go to the supermarket if you're single and you wanted to find somebody. It's like, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, basically.
Yes.
And so I came to that. That is in my mind when it comes to love comes when at least expected. But then I guess it's the Gemini in me. There's always something else that pops up in my head. And the part that really intrigues me is saying like, well, when you let your guard down, it's easier for things to penetrate. So like some people, they might have very like, I'm looking for a guy in finance.
You said that and I still have not seen it. Why haven't you sent it to me?
I'm looking for a guy in finance, 6'5", blue eyes. Oh no, trust fund, blue eyes, 6'5", something like that. But like, it was this girl who had these requirements. So this is social media.
Yeah, it's a social media. In case you're unaware, it's, I guess,
I'm looking for a guy in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. But it was a list. But if you have your guard down, you might find that person who is making you laugh a lot, or it's kind of like sometimes when your guard is down, the people that you need slip in between the cracks because truthfully, in all honesty, we don't really know what we like. We think we know what we want, but it's not what we need. There we go. We know what we want. We don't necessarily know what we need, and so when your guard is down, sometimes you get what you need and not what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's since childhood. Like we have children. If we gave them everything that they wanted, they would probably be, truthfully, they would probably be dead or sick all the time. They wouldn't be sleeping. They
They'd
would
be
never
sleep
have any,
deprived.
yeah,
They'd have 5
no
cavities.
teeth. They would have like
They'd have
they'll be
matted
obese.
hair.
Yeah,
They would stink.
yeah. So like they would have some kind of disease or bacteria or like, oh, you don't want to you don't want to put a jacket when it's cold. You want to play in the snow. Like you want to eat this, you want to eat that.
You want sandy hair?
Yeah.
We could go on. But yeah, I get what you're
saying is like people think they know what they know what they want, but it's not necessarily what you need. And when your guard is down, when you're not expecting it, you might find that you needed this thing. It's complementary to what you are. It's the balance to what you are instead of whatever it is that you think you are. So I do think that love can come when you least expect it, but I also feel like you need to be prepared for love. So if that's working on yourself, working on being emotionally available, working on knowing how to communicate when times gets tough, because a lot of the situations are you'll be fine when everything is good. Everything is good, but like, how do I communicate when I'm upset with you? How do I communicate to you when I'm disappointed? Like these are things that you have to work on and know how to control basically your emotions. I did see Inside Out too, so I guess that's a little bit in me. And also, if you see my nice hat, I got it for my birthday by my lovely wife and my children. But yeah, controlling your emotions, making sure that you can handle a situation, how you talk to somebody when you're angry, how you talk to somebody when you're frustrated, because if you find this person or this person pops up and you're not ready, it's going to be more difficult, I would say. Then, and relationships are already difficult, especially relationships as adults, when you already have your own habits and stuff like that, and you have to kind of cajole into one. So, just I would say, yes, I do like this one, but there also needs to be maybe like an asterisk and like, yo, just be ready.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you with that. Just because it comes when you least expect it does not mean I'm implying that you're not prepared for it. Because, like I said, I was prepared already for love, for marriage, for all those things, but it wasn't like
You was
I
prepared
wasn't
for
holding
marriage?
on. Yes, I mean, how dare you? Yes, I was. The Lord had already prepared me, but that's not the point. The point is that when I look at this saying, I think like you are not anxiously waiting for something. You are kind of like you said, you kind of let it go, let God. Should have did that one. Some cliches. And you're like, okay, it's in His hands. I don't need to keep like there are some things that I have made rules for myself to protect my peace, if you will. So like money, or like I don't constantly look at our like bank statements and balances early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah.
Same thing that I do with social media. I don't do it late in the morning, early in the morning, or late at night because some things just can kind of seep into your spirit and you have this like expectation. Like if I was like, oh my gosh, we need to get to 1,000 followers and I'm constantly checking that, nah, we don't need to do all that. You know what I mean? And so the same thing that I think about with this cliche, it's like you're not holding on to love where I'm constantly like looking for the guy. I'm preparing myself, like you said, like I look good. I'm making sure I'm right. I'm making sure I'm healed. I'm making sure I'm healthy. And then all of that good, healthy, whole energy gravitates the love that's going to come when I'm not even looking for it. So,
yeah. Uh, and also, I feel like it's weird because sometimes when you're not looking for it and you don't realize, like, what is it called? Like, right in front of your nose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it might be a blessing right in front of your nose. And
Oh,
you
like
might
the
see,
best friend?
yeah, well, you might see it as a distraction. Like,
Mm.
okay, I'm focused on this. I got my blinders on. And then here comes this person who's like, oh, yeah, let's go have a fun time or something. And it's really the blessing, but it's also to you, you're distracting me from whatever it is. But sometimes you need a distraction so you don't get burnt out and stuff like that. Not a distraction, but you need a different perspective, a relief valve. And I feel like sometimes people are so focused that they don't see it coming, and it's a good thing that they don't see it coming because they are so focused on another thing.
Yeah.
It's like that. Have you seen that? I think it was an old joke. It was about this guy. His boat was sinking, and he started praying, "Please God, please send help, send help." And then, like, help me God. And then somebody comes up and was like, hey, you want to ride? And it was like, no, God's gonna take care of it. And then he just, so it happens like 3 times, and the guy's like, no, God's gonna save me. And then he dies and he goes up to heaven, and I was like, hey, what happened? I thought you were gonna save me. It was like, I sent you 3 boats.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. Like, sometimes you just gotta look for it because it might be there.
So that is the opposite of the saying. Then it's what you're saying. I'm least expecting it. You're saying actually look for it
because he didn't expect it to be like that. Sometimes it's not
exactly what you expect.
Yeah, yes. So it's not like love comes when you least expect it. It's almost like love might not be what you expect.
Okay, you trying to change it up. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Like, so, yeah, you want a tall guy, you got a short
for a man
king.
in finance, but you actually got a trash man.
You got a union man, like an electrician or something.
Yes.
A hard worker. Yes. So, like, you might be looking for one thing, but it might come in another thing.
Yes.
And
well, again, that's the same to me. I'm like, same. Least expected or expecting it in a different way. The idea is to stay open.
Yeah, you gotta stay open. Welcome to the last Am I Wrong of the season. Yes. This is the part where I give you a situation and you let me know if I'm wrong or if Lindsey is wrong. I don't even know what the tally is. I might give you guys the tally. I think I'm winning. She had a couple of them. Like, I think you were on a win streak.
Truthfully, yes. Honestly, the only one you might have won was like Father's Day. Because on your birthday, people wanted to give it to you. But
I think you won like 2 or 3 in a row. But I also been going easy on her. So this is a situation. We're both off on weekends now. So it's really cool.
Wow.
And what?
It's true. It hasn't felt like it. It's felt like full weekends, but I'm actually off of work. I mean, that's a whole nother situation. Like, more work, not going to work. Kids, y'all.
So we're going to this thing that Action's been asking us to go to. And I know in previous podcasts, I told you about our calendar. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real, something. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we are planning the day. Usually the day is already planned in advance. But the day of, Lindsey's like, yeah, I'm going to go, but I'm going to leave. She just switches the plan real quick. I am going to leave, which means I'm going to leave you with the 3 kids for an extended period of time, off jump. And it's super hot this day. And it's like an event. It's like a carnival. So it's like jumpers and stuff like that. Am I wrong? Should she had stayed because that was the original plan? Because when I got home, mind you, she was like, I want to clean up. And she did start cleaning up. But then when I got home, she also was a little perturbed about how much she did not clean up. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, I gave you this time anyway, and then I come back and you're still not in the best mood because you didn't get all the stuff done that you want to get done. But that's not my fault. But I got to get the raft of you not being in the best mood. Not the whole raft, but yeah, you know, you feel a certain way. All right, baby, defend yourself. Yeah, I'm winning this one.
This is so wild because I could see that perspective,
Oh.
a value perspective. But let me just quickly give you the synopsis of what's happening. Of what our lives are like. I am with the 3 children every day, all day, Monday through Friday anyway. So he's like, oh, the 2 hours that he was with them, that was off cusp, okay. But that particular day, I woke up, it's Saturday, and I'm like, wow, our home is a bit of a mess. You know what I mean? Things are everywhere. This is what happens Monday through Friday. We're in go mode and we need to reset. We have a reset day. And I was like, you know what would be helpful? Is if I go out with them, because I love to be with my family, but I am going to sacrifice being with them. He didn't see it that way. Sacrifice being with them and having fun with them because I love to do that, take pictures and everything. And I'm gonna go home and be Cinderella and clean. And that's exactly what I did. He's right. It's like 94 degrees that day. I came home, took Christmas, our dog, out for a walk. And then I touched on every room. So yes, he came back and I wasn't done yet, but how much work can a family of 5 plus dog get done in 2 hours? That's, you know what I mean? Like, not much. I literally cleaned. So is he wrong that I switched it up? Yes, absolutely. Because sometimes this is what flexibility is. This is what we have to do as this family. We just gotta make room and make space for if things need to happen. Also, that day he had his unicorn space and he went to go play basketball, leaving me with the children as well, which was not on the calendar for some amount of hours. Okay. So
and they were
life.
And the kids were on the nap. They were napping. They were napping one on my.
No.
Okay. So you can let her know how wrong she is and how wrong she was this whole season. You can leave a message, a comment on our YouTube. That is at First Comes Love.
Okay, you can DM us, TikTok or Instagram, First Comes Love, TCM, or you can email us, let's talk at firstcomesLove.com. Welcome back to the cliches. And I just want to actually, before we go back to our cliche of the episode, run down some of the really good ones that we had, because I absolutely think that you all should go back through this season, all 22 episodes, and tell us which one is your favorite and why. Because, you know, I like to say we're 90s babies. And even though we were born in the 80s, but like we're late 80s, 87 is late. So we're 90s babies. So it's like, have you all heard of them?
87 is not late because I am not in my late 30s. Keep going.
Okay. All that to say that the ones that we picked were most of them were really instrumental to my life growing up. And I just want to know if they resonated with any of you. So let me go back.
The very first one was New Year, New Me.
New Year, New Me, which is no longer even a term anymore. It's New Year, Same Me. We talked about this one, but that one was a really good episode because every year we hear that. And now that we as a society, I feel like, are evolving into this very like self-care, self-love, very gracious experience, that one kind of went out the window. But there was a time when it was like, you know, the gym fad, it was New Year, New Me completely.
I like New Year, New Me still.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Plenty of Fish in the Sea. That's kind of the 80-20 rule. So good.
That was a really good
That
one.
was okay. Lady in the Streets, Freak in the Sheets. Oh
I still like that one. I had some more. Like some of it, I was like, man, I wish the episode was a little bit longer. Because I had more insight. I don't know, insight, perspective, whatever you want to call it. I had more of that. And that was one of them because that's more like of a manly.
Yeah, this is a man's perspective.
Yeah,
for sure. And, I mean, lady. Yeah. Hi. Rethinking. Let's see what we got. Don't Go to Sleep Angry. Yeah, number one we heard about that one. I married my best friend.
I married my best friend.
That one got a lot of comments because a lot of people were like, well, actually, I did marry my best friend, which is wild because I thought that this was one of those things that's like, this is why you do interviews so that you can hear someone else's perspective. I thought that everyone marries their best friend.
I know, but I was one of the people who was like, no, it's not true.
I mean, you would say that as maybe it's like as a woman. I mean, your perspective is always going to be different because you're the man.
It's not always. Sometimes we are same.
Okay.
I just feel like some people don't marry their best friends.
Yeah.
I.e. us.
How dare you? I did, and we've already talked about this.
I know.
How dare you?
But that was a good one. What was your favorite cliche of the seasons?
Oh, we only did 2 interviews this season, which was drastically different from last season because we did a lot more. But this season, I liked It's Cheaper to Keep Her because I just really love learning. You were going to pick that one? Let's see. What happens at home stays at home.
Who was the other interview in the beginning?
Sophia Stevens.
Ah, Sophia.
Yeah, she was excellent. Right? Plenty of Fish at the Sea. Who was Valentine's Day for?
Oh yeah. I just liked Cheaper to Keep Her because it was just something so new to me. The perspective of like prenup, postnup, and the realities of like sometimes marriages do get divorced, and one of the most potent points for me is when he was like, you have a prenup. It's either the state appointed prenup or
you already have one.
Yeah, you already have one.
So you might as well do one that works for you. That set one into place he dropped a lot of good jewels. Like I didn't know that you could also put name. I mean, same name, but that you could also put like counseling before you get divorced or like things like that I'm like, wow, I didn't know that, because these are absolutely good things that was Pastor Jordan talked about when he was even talking about premarital counseling. Premarital, prenup, all the things that's like preparedness. I like that one. I like the opposites attract though, because it was good conversations that we talked about.
Opposites attract. I liked the very last one we did. The thing about
Fool Me Once.
The Fool Me Once was so interesting. It's probably that and Cheaper to Keep Her were the two where I was like, oh, I am learning something.
Yeah.
The apology languages was a very interesting thing for me because I admit that I have apologized in the way that I would want Lindsey to apologize.
Yeah.
And that might not work all the time. I mean, it might work sometimes, but it's not going to work all the time when she has an expectation. And it's not necessarily like a expectation that we know about. You get what I'm saying? Because like my expectation is you just to admit that you're saying sorry. But if yours is like, oh yeah, you need to say you're sorry and then make amends and stuff like that, then those are two different.
Right, and you're not. If you don't meet expectation, then the other person is constantly getting disappointed.
Yeah,
and maybe they don't know about it. Awareness, like I didn't know that I needed all of that from you until I wrote it in. I didn't know what you needed from me until we figured out what your apology language was. So yeah, that one was good.
Mine is way simpler than hers.
It might be to you, but it isn't for me because I don't say I'm sorry. So simple is in the mind of the beholder.
Oh yeah,
right.
So you admit you don't say you're sorry.
I don't say I'm sorry simply, easily.
Okay.
But yeah, so these are some of the cliches.
I'm good. You know me. I ain't sorry for nothing. Sorry don't feed the bulldog.
And that was a cliche that my dad said all the time. He would say it to like waitresses that came by and would say, I'm sorry. He'd be like, look, man, sorry don't feed the bulldog.
What does that mean? Made that up.
I didn't know that until you told me that. Like I thought everybody said that.
I have not heard that before.
I've actually not heard it from anybody else, but my dad said it so much that I thought people said it.
My thing is that I'm tired.
Yes. And our kids will think that that's a cliche.
Yeah.
Because anytime anyone in our house says, I'm tired, he says,
You know what tires do? They keep rolling.
No, you go, you know what tires do? They roll. And everybody in the house be like, oh, my daddy.
It happens at work too now.
Okay.
Oh,
so you're really trying to make it a thing.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. It's happening.
So if you hear anybody else say it, you know that he started it first.
Yeah. I'm tired. You know what tires do? They roll. Okay.
All right. So back to this final cliche.
Oh, you want to go back to it? I thought we finished it. Go ahead.
I mean, just to wrap it up.
This is one thing that I fell in love with this podcast, and I did not expect that.
Yeah.
We were doing it. One of the reasons why I started the podcast is because we've been together for a very long time, and we were one of those couples that a lot of people look to, ask questions about, observed from afar. Sometimes you notice that they were observing, and so I was like, I don't mind people prying in, but let me give them information that would probably be helpful or impactful. Mm-hmm. And then Lindsey was down for it, and she really I came up with the idea, and then I'm like the idea person, and then we have a producer right here who kind of pushes me and like, okay, this is what we need. She does logistics. I'm like, okay, yes, we should have balloons that have confetti in it, and she'll be like, oh, that's great. So how is that going to happen?
Yes, you are our creative genius and
creative director.
You come up with such wonderful ideas, and I implement the ideas set forth by you. So we are a great team.
Even if you Joe Jackson and me into taking pictures or doing some kind of,
you love it now. You love it. You or at least you
she
at
gets
least
so mad.
Don't,
say, all right, let's
you
go
don't say
the
you
curtain.
don't love it.
Let's go behind the curtain. Lindsey gets so frustrated. Even still, what is it? We're on our 5th year.
Yeah.
When she has to do like a group, it's like me, Christmas, whatever it is. And we've been doing this. It's been like, am I wrong? So we've been doing this for a while now, and it used to be like, oh, if you're doing the shooting, you're the director, just everything. But like sometimes she'd be like, yeah, we got the shot, but you guys weren't happy doing it. Like, what? Like, you got what you wanted. Why are you so bad? Because I gotta force y'all. I gotta pull teeth. I said I gotta pull teeth.
Look. I want it to be authentic. I want you to want to do it. I want you to want to wash the dishes. Okay, like I want you all to want to be involved in this, and they usually are. They're usually down. I am the type of person where discipline. Okay, whether you want to or not, we gotta get it done. And so I want you to want to do it, and then if you don't want to do it, I want you to want to do it, and even if you don't want to do it.
That's okay. And before we wrap up, I did want to ask you this question because it's the end of the season. How is your word of the year going?
Yeah, wow. It's okay. It's going wonderfully. And I'm so happy. My word of the year is grace. My word of the year is grace. And I chose grace because the year after I give birth is always a year of transition and expectations of myself and from others and all the things, but it's also new. Like everything is new. Whether people are like, oh, you're not a new mom anymore. Yeah, I am a new mom. I'm a new mom of 3 and all the things that come with the word. But I chose this word because originally, what was the word originally I said?
Calmness?
No. It was
patience.
It was patience. And I had to change it from patience because I was like, you pray for patience. God will give you something to be patient for. And I was like, no, God, please don't do that. Because it was like, okay, it was a lot of waiting. And instead of waiting, it's more of a grace period. And so like Liv, our baby girl, was born in November. And then just my postpartum journey is always with the preeclampsia or with this. And lo and behold, I didn't know that I was going to be leaving the job at Lion King and transitioning there with Grace. And so we are in June. We are into the summer. We are halfway through the year. And I'm still holding on to grace. So this is a really good question. Thanks for asking. I love that we could do check-ins. And usually when we come back the second season, we talk about last year, but this midway point is really nice.
Yeah. My word is priority.
Yeah, it is.
And I still like it. One of my challenges that I'm finding is when there's a priority, it needs to be communicated. And so I need to communicate what my priority is to Lindsey or to the boys or to our work or whatever. Or if Lindsey has a priority that will supersede mine, so that becomes a priority. It's like communicating that to me. Like, okay, this is the priority. Like if this is getting the house clean or getting the finances or order or getting action into summer camp. Whatever it is, if it is the priority, because I've been very good at focusing and zeroing in on that, and me communicating like, no, this is the priority. And when I was doing that in the beginning, it was kind of like you kind of understood. It was like, okay, this is what
it was strong.
Well,
at the top of the year, usually you start off strong, and so it's about the marathon of keeping it throughout the year. So you were communicating it very clearly. Like the priority is until this date, and then until June. Like now we've transitioned out of Juneteenth, Father's Day, Aaron's birthday, because we be getting hit May and June.
What do you mean we? I'm having a great time.
No, we as in we get hit with a lot of celebrations. And then this year, of course, with Action graduating, it's like it is celebrating is wonderful. It's also like a little bit of a draining situation because you're like celebrating. But now that we move past that, the next priority or maybe will be our anniversary. 10 years, you guys. 10 years. We're about to come with some 10-year jewels for you. Maybe, I mean, we'll see. But 10 years, August 22nd. So that's my next priority.
Oh, okay. Just throwing that out there.
I need that to be your priority.
But speaking of celebrating, we are celebrating this 5th season. We did it.
Yeah.
We have over 100 episodes of this podcast, so you can listen for hours on end. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
I am so happy that we got to share this season with you. We will be here for the summer. We'll be giving you content, relationship content throughout the summer, so you won't be left high and dry. Or as in the relationship term, you won't be ghosted. We're not going to ghost anybody. We'll still be here.
No, in fact,
was that lame?
That was perfect. Okay. We're only taking a week off. So enjoy your 4th of July. Come back strong the following week, and we will have our off-season content for you, which is fantastic. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Please let us know what you think. Tell us your favorite cliche of the season, and then just binge watch them or binge listen to them on all the platforms that you have. Okay, so
and you can binge watch or listen on the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that is, if you're searching on YouTube, you go at First Comes Love. Will pop up. You see Lindsey and I. Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yes, you can DM us, of course, Instagram or TikTok at First Comes Love TCM, and you can email us. Let's talk at firstcomeslove.com.
See you next season.
Oh my God!
Who are you talking to next Tuesday? You just said we have that off.
And I kept saying, say talk to you Tuesday because we transitioned from see you next Friday to talk to you Tuesday. So at the end of every episode, I try to remember. I be thinking it. Okay.
That's how I'm messed up.
Stop. Let me do it again. Okay.
See you next season.
No.
Okay.
I didn't know lead in. Okay, ready?
See you next season.
Yeah, I got it.